Hey guys, I just wanted to say hello and touch bases with you guys with something that has been on my mind, something that's come to my attention, and it has to do with narcissistic men. Especially, we're going to make it more, I guess, break it down and specify men that are incarcerated. There's women too. Just word to the wise. If you're dealing with someone that's incarcerated, and say, for example, you've never met them out on the streets, you don't know their family, and so on, proceed with caution. Even the ones that you do know and they become incarcerated, or this is not their first go round, you have to really step back and think about your dealings with these people. And the reason why I say that, many times going to jail and prison and so on, it's a survival mechanism. They will reach out to you and try and put demands on you as far as finances, or put demands on your time, try to have you on a curfew. And many times you really have to be careful when they're trying to shut you out of interaction with your family and close friends. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, I don't think you need to be hanging out with them. They're a bad influence on you. And what about us? That's during the time I'm gonna call." Or that's that might interfere with you coming to visit me. Um, you have to, take a pause and you have to evaluate for yourself. Is that person really a bad influence on you or not? Or are you being manipulated? And let's push forward. You say you meet this person, they're telling you everything that you want to hear, but those red flags start popping up even before they're released, and you try to downplay it and say, "Oh, maybe it's just me," or things will get better once they get out, and so on. Again, um, I think it was Judge Maybelline said, look deep before you leap. Look at the family, look at the friends, look at the people they hung out with. And especially if they had children before, find out, were they a good parent? Were they an active parent? And don't always go on the stories that they may present to you. "Oh, I don't see my kids because of their mother," or "I don't see because of their father," and so on. A lot of times, again, being in an incarcerated situation, it's about survival, and it doesn't matter whose throat they have to cut to get what they want. It's an environment that breeds nothing but negativity. Some people do come out and are changed. Some are changed for the worse. And many times, especially if they are what I call frequent flyers, they're continuously going back and, being on parole, on probation. Some never make it off parole or probation. You have to really look at that, because many times they haven't lost those behaviors, those survival tactics. And believe it or not, they have, they've been traumatized in there. So different things that, they may come in contact, and maybe even something you say and not realizing it, they could flash on you. And you're like, well, why are they talking to me this way? Or it could even become physical. So again, dealing with, and like I said, I'm, especially talking about men, because there's a lot of women, we are, most women are, givers. We are emotionally, attached to people, not so much physical at first. And a lot of times that, you have to think about it. These men have time to sit up and plot and read books, magazines, watch TV, and learn different ways on how to plot on you. If, say for example, you watch Lifetime, all that stuff is not made up. Those writers have, this is information that has come to them. They may put their own spin on it, but those narcissistic people, they start somewhere. And usually you have situations where they, from childhood, maybe it was parents that were showing too much attention, but in many times they weren't getting enough attention. And sometimes it has, to do with, economics, and they felt like they had to get what they had to get from the streets or take from others. And when they don't get the attention that they need, and sometimes it's deeper, needed counseling. Some, may have had, situations such as like maybe ADHD, and say many years ago, you know, they weren't, treating for that. Say maybe the 60s or 70s. They weren't treating for those type of things. So you have a person that, only thing they know is survival. Only thing they know is, hurting people physically, as far as fighting and so on, and feeling they have to just take from everyone. Although they may want, they think they want to have these romantic relationships, or, actually be faithful, in a relationship and so on. But many times they're incapable. If they had childhood traumas that were never taken care of, they go right into a juvenile system, then an adult system, and say they're in their 40s and 50s and just getting, as they say, off paper. Some of them never get off paper. And they have all this trauma that's bound up in them, and they've been in a situation that, in my opinion, it breeds narcissists. So again, you have to be really careful when you're dealing with these people. Um, and I would say, listen to your family and friends. If they're, not that they have to dictate your life or tell you how to live your life, but if they're telling you something's not right about this, or this doesn't, seem right, you need to listen to that. Because no matter what they can tell you, while they're incarcerated, or, even when they get out and you tend to spend more time with them, you will pick up those red flags. And don't be like many women, or we think, oh, well, we can change them, we can help them. Most of the time, this is beyond our pay grades. Whether you are a psychologist, psychiatrist, I think, in my opinion, the only person that can help them is God, because this is deep rooted, and a lot of times they don't feel. They don't have the ability to feel further. Their whole thing is, especially if there's infidelity, cheating, and so on, get over it. I'm here now. Okay, I made a mistake. Oh, forget that. That's because of, the many years of, the situations that they may have gone through, again, from home, the way they were raised, being in the institutions, and so on. And unless they are willing to get help, and most of them aren't, they have to have a sincere desire to want to change. And most of them don't. They'll tell you that, oh, yeah, I'll go to counseling. Oh, yeah, we can do this. But then you'll start to see, how they snap at you, or you're just, or you feel like you're on eggshells. You have to, figure out when it's a good time to have just a normal conversation. Maybe it's a career change you want to do, or you want to move to a different part of the country. And you're like, oh, this may not be a good time, because they're flashing, they come in, and you're like, okay, well, why are they taking all the things out of the kitchen cabinets or refrigerator? Because nothing is ever good enough for them. So some of them, that could maybe be OCD, but that's a way to get you off your game and get you like, well, why is he doing this? Or why are they doing that? Well, don't I clean good enough? Or, isn't it organized? No, it's not you. It's not you at all. It is them. This is the way to keep you off center, to keep you from being focused in on their misbehaviors, their abuse. And if you stay with them, believe me, it only gets worse. It doesn't get any better. And the more times that you break up and allow them to come back, they, in their mind, it's okay because she let me come back. I can, get mad at her, go out and sleep with other women, and so on. Well, you weren't giving me affection, or you weren't. Oh, so you can put your energy into other people, and then, once, that fling wears off, come back. It's called a soul tie. That's a whole different video. But all I'm here to do is to warn you, and, you know, if you have gone through this, don't feel like you're stupid. Don't feel like you come down on yourself. And sometimes it's hard to totally detach. But as they say, the best thing to do is to go fully no contact, block them, Don't accept calls. If they, they'll find a way to contact you. Don't respond. They will say different things to try to trigger you. They will try to devalue you. Say you have these dreams and goals. Oh, that's never gonna work. How long you been working at that? When are you gonna get this? Don't listen to that. But do listen to your instincts. And like I said, if you have gotten into one of these relationships and you have children and so on, do your best to stick with people that care about you, that love you, that will encourage you, and move on. And I mean that. Move on. Let them go. They toxic, all it does is breed more toxicity, and all it does is take more time off your life. As they say, you have less time ahead of you than behind you. You're not worth it. You are better than that. You deserve to be treated better than that. So don't accept that from a person. And no matter what they say, oh, well, I can have another one, or oh, ain't nobody gonna want you. Don't believe those lies. Those are lies. That in my own opinion, dealing with narcissists, they are shepherds directly from the devil, and they do come with several spirits. So pray, stay spiritually grounded, and stay with people that are on a positive note, not someone that's going to encourage you to keep going back, or somebody that will belittle you for being in an abusive relationship. On that note, like they say, there's always a lesson in the blessing. Sometimes God allows us to go through certain things, and believe it or not, you're not the only one. There's many women that have gone through this. And I'm just here to support and encourage. You have any questions, you can feel free to reach out or leave your messages down below. And I will respond as soon as I'm able. Again, there are many women that have gone through this, have been, taken for, their money, knowing that these women many times are single parents, and, and how can you have the audacity to even ask a single parent for money, and you're doing time for, many times for something that they deserve to be there for. So again, listen to your instincts. Know that usually the issues are deep rooted, and know that dealing with someone that's incarcerated, and they're in a lab that breeds narcissists, and most times nothing good can come from that. On that note, just again, listen to your instincts and be blessed.